Trump and the RNC and the campaign put out the 2024 platform today in kind of a one sheet. And what's interesting is, as I read this, if you live in this country and you were brought up in, like we were you grew up in the last 40, 30, 40, 50 years, 20 years, however old you are, and you grew up in a pretty normal household, you look at this list and you think to yourself, well, look, okay. And then you think, the other party in this country opposes almost every one of these things. And you think to yourself, well, what kind of party is this that we're dealing with at this point that just clearly just hates America? Because you wouldn't think there's one thing on this that should be all of that controversial. I'll just go through a couple of them. Number one, seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. Well, we know that Democrats are opposed to that. Joe Biden today said he'll veto the SAVE Act if it gets passed.
Yep.
Elon Musk says anybody that opposes that's a traitor in capital letters. Joe Biden today says he'll veto it, meaning only American citizens can vote. Oh, no, we can't have that. No. How are we going to get...
How are you going to steal everything?
How are we going to get 2 more senators? How are we going to get the Supreme Court packed? We can't do that legitimately because we got to get rid of the Electoral College. That arcane, as they think about that. Number 2, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. I've said this before, and I'll just say it again. Just prepare yourself now. That's not happening. Not because they won't try, not because they don't want to. There will not be the political will in the country for that to happen. It's just not going to happen.
I don't know if you need the political will. You've got Trump's will, and as the commander in chief, right? He's got the platform for the security of the nation. He could say, you know what, this is a national security issue. I'm taking the bull by the horns here. Parachutes are easy to come by. Let's get a bunch and ship these people back. Let's go.
Well, a lot of Americans hate America. That's problem one. And it's all about abortion to maybe the other third or half. So it's the first time the RNC has not explicitly endorsed a national ban on abortion in their platform.
Well, because their candidate has said he wouldn't sign it. Just as of recently on the All In podcast. My point is, and you can all jump in here if you have a different opinion, I don't think one president is going to, I don't think he's going to deport 9, 10, 12 million people. It's just impossible to do.
I'm not saying he's going to get them all, but I think a large portion of them is all you need to get started.
It took Trump 2 years to really get down and dirty on illegal immigration, shut down the border 83%. He'll do it again. He held the USMCA deal over the Mexican president's head. He'll come up with something else, and there probably will be deportations, but he's got to stop the hemorrhaging, first of all.
We don't have to get every single one to send a message to the American people and those coming here illegally that enough is enough. This will not happen under my watch, and make the citizens feel safe again.
Yeah.
And not only that, you might also get a fair amount of self-deportation, because one of the things he should do is cut off the money.
Yeah.
No more Social Security benefits. You're out.
No incentives.
No
free cell phones.
Right. No hotels.
5-star hotels.
Well, they'll just come to New York. Yeah. They're not going to stop that here.
Well, New York gets its money from the Fed. They don't have it.
And they're renewing the program with these cards again, New York City. But I heard a guy, I think maybe in Chicago today, I don't know where it's from, but a guy came to him for a job and he says, well, I didn't hire you the first time. You had no ID. You have no Social Security card. You have no driver's license. You came here 6 months ago. And he's like, look, I have all these things now.
Yeah.
He got everything.
You're hired.
Well, he didn't. I don't know if he hired him or not, but, that's what's going on. They're legalizing illegals.
Number 3, end inflation and make America affordable again. That's the one that even when people who maybe tell their pollsters that they're against, there's nobody against that, because everybody in this country is feeling that.
Well, Whoopi Goldberg's against that.
Well, maybe her and her Hollywood friends, but everybody knows that the only way to stop inflation is to get them out of there, because they're going to spend like drunken sailors. $34 trillion is just the start. If he has 4 more years, it'll be, I don't know, 70 trillion, 50 trillion, 60 trillion. I don't know what the number would be.